Thank you.
Do we have Christina and Amanda?
Good evening. Thanks for having us. And my name is Christina Shepard, and I am a program assistant that work out of the district office, supporting student services.
And my name's Amanda Smith, and I am also a program assistant that works out of the district office, also supporting student services.
And we're excited to be here to share where we are with our equity work. And we want to say thank you to our board and definitely to our superintendent for making this a priority in our district. And I really believe that we are definitely on our way of making equity the heart of everything we do, and using that through all of our decisions. We have a ways to go. It's a journey, but at least our car is packed somewhat and we're ready to kind of hit the road. So we just included the goal, the mission of the equity team. We're aware that the board knows that, but perhaps if families or other staff members haven't seen this, we just wanted to make sure that you were able to reference kind of our belief and why we believe our equity work is important. Go ahead, Emily. I won't go through this, but this was this organic body of staff of all different roles throughout our district, staff of color, white staff. So this was our brainstorm, and you have seen this, so we don't need to go through it. But again, it's always important to keep our goals and our purpose in front of us, because we can get lost in amongst the weeds. And so we wanted to make sure you, those that are seeing this, have access to it as well.
All right, so we just wanted to take a moment also to just update on what some of the committees at school sites are doing. All of them are doing great work, but we had a couple, I guess, celebrations, or we're calling barrier busters, that we wanted to share. Micah did such a nice job earlier. I don't know that I need to say too much about this, but she did reference that at MES they were doing their equal representation board. So we have an example of what they did for March, for Women's History Month. I know they're meeting regularly and doing a lot of good work at MES as well as other sites. Okay, next. Thank you. And then we just wanted to highlight Sterling Roberts and Tony Castle from IES did a really nice job facilitating a school-wide meeting to introduce their equity work, and their presentation focused on being equity detectives. So they really did a nice job about talking about what does equity mean to people, and just having more of a conversation about equity versus equality. It was extremely well received. They got a lot of really good positive feedback, so much so that with permission, the district office small group has borrowed with permission, or is using their presentation to help us develop what we want to share with our team when we meet later in the month. We also wanted to note that we have added another member to the district-wide equity committee we're super excited about, Britta Santoni, who is our social emotional learning whole child coordinator, is part of our team now. We're really excited about that, because now we can make sure, again, in all the work that she's doing with social emotional learning throughout the schools and our equity work, that it goes seamlessly, and we're combining those two efforts together. All right.
So in the equity group, the large district equity team, we have subcommittees. We have 3 subcommittees that were started based on our purpose and our goals that we set forth early on. And one of them is professional learning. And so we have a couple of really great things that are coming down the road our way. One is a partnership that Western Oregon University reached out, and I have to give the superintendent and just the district in general, they reached out to us they wanted to partner with us. They had this grant opportunity. And so it's kind of the stars aligned, and it seems like the work that we're going to be able to do with them is really going to help launch us into our long-term, both short-term and long-term goals and an action plan in regards to that. So Dr. Cabista and Rosa Diaz Avery have met with them to do some planning about this multi-day workshop, which will be for members of the district equity committee, but will also be from the building level equity teams as well. And really with the idea of helping us start our work and get our goals going in the right way. So completing an equity filter process, or helping us identify which filter we want to use to kind of analyze all of our data and make goals based on where we want to go. And then also, because of Dr. Cavista's bringing the interconnected systems framework into our district and the work that Britta Santoni is doing, we're able to bring them alongside this process from the very beginning, which again, continues to reinforce the alignment of all of our initiatives and doing smarter work, not more work. So we're really excited. They have some wonderful professionals that have a wealth of experience that will only make our experience richer. So that's one of our exciting things that are happening. And we'll hear more about that in the next month or two, about kind of the construct of what it's really going to end up looking. Go ahead, Emily. And then the other opportunity that came across our desk was COSA is putting on a book study. They've done several across different content areas this year. And this one was very well received, and they're doing a second version. And so members of the district equity team were invited to participate in this book study. It starts this Thursday, and the district purchased our books, paid for our registration fee. And so again, really honoring and prioritizing the ability to learn together and grow together. And so this will be kind of our first super formal, which isn't that formal, but work where we're all going to be learning together, or those that wanted to do it are going to do that together. So it's got, you can go ahead and hop to the next one, Emily. Just really, that's the topics that they're covering. And like I said, it's starting this week. And so we will all be on there with other school districts. And so that's always exciting, because you can learn so much from other people and the journeys that they're on as well.
Okay, so one of the other subcommittees from our district-wide group is establishing equity committees. At our last meeting, however, we realized that that's our primary goal of this subcommittee. And once we establish equity committees, there's other work to be done. And so we just changed our name to reference that. And really what we want to do by the end of the year, we will have equity committees at every site. And then we plan to, as we go on in the future, be a support to them. The district-wide equity committee would be a support, provide resources, providing professional development. There's a member from each site on the district-wide equity committee. So as we better our practice, we can funnel that down to school sites and school teams. In addition, the district office is establishing their own equity committee as well, site-based committee, and we hope to have that presentation. As I mentioned, we're working on that with help from IES and their work. We're planning to do that April 26th at the district office and see who would be interested in joining us on this journey, as well as once that's done, we plan to at least get the group of folks interested together to start talking about what that looks like for us as central office folks, and how our work, regardless of whether that's supporting kids' transportation, that's supporting kids with lunches, that's doing payroll, really still has an equity lens, and how our work impacts what's happening at the school sites. And then the last subcommittee this year that we're working with is the student of staff of color and voice, students and staff, excuse me, of color and voice. We have a little bit of work that's been done at MES right now already. What they're doing is they're doing a student equity group. And so they were giving teachers and all staff actually a chance to nominate a 4th or 5th grade student that they thought might be a good representative for that team. And they just filled out a small application or nomination form for those students and turned them in. I know that was done, I believe, right before spring break. So now they're going to be in contact with that group and really try and help train those students and have conversations with those students in hopes that as things go down the road, that they'll be working with the younger grades. And this will be an ongoing kind of leadership team that is available to students when they get in 4th and 5th grade. They're also doing some work where they're creating what's called a drive-by event for staff of color via Zoom. And they're going to give it a go and just invite people to participate, have some open-ended questions, and just start a dialogue. And then depending on how that goes, they're wanting to create that kind of a space for all district-wide activities in which there's an opportunity for staff of color to be able to get together and still go and have conversation about what's going on and keep in touch and work together. So that's our presentation for this evening. Are there any questions we can help answer at this point?
No questions. Excellent presentation, and continue to be really impressed with the work that you all are doing. So let us
Thank you.
know if there's anything we can do to help. And I think Peggy, you're still involved, right?
Yeah,
So
It's great to have Peggy there. And,
Yeah.
and again, we really appreciate that the board is as invested as in this as our staff are. So I think it's a perfect time for us to launch into worlds unknown, so to speak.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Christina.
that was the thing we got invited to participate. I think I had a.
With the community?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's the Western, that's what it was. It's not part of this.
No, that's different. But part of that was built from, because Jacqueline, who is one of the professors that we're working with, she was in that when Peggy and I went through that with our community. She was there, so she's helped leading it. So we're really excited to just take some of those next steps, a little bit of assessment we're going to do with our staff of where we are. And then we're going to do the work and continue to move forward. So again, it's nice to have administration, classified and licensed staff all involved in it. It's been really great to watch the work.